Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and trust me on this. After you watch this video, you're gonna, if you haven't done it already, you're gonna want to get some institutional custody for your digital assets like XRP, specifically XRP, because if we go anywhere near the kind of money we're talking about here, this is just me. I'm not gonna have it on some hard wallet or on my phone, and I don't think that the majority of people would either. This is why I partnered with iTrustCapital. I get free institutional custody. I get, I'm able to have an IRA. I'm able to have a premium custody account for my XRP. All it is a 1% trading fee. I mean, it's a no-brainer. And don't we hope that they pay interest in XRP, pay a yield in XRP soon. If you want to open an account, I got my mom to open an account. The official father of the Digital Asset Investor channel opened an account. A lot of my friends and family are opening an account. I actually, when I was in Whitefish, Montana, this week, I was telling one of my friends about XRP that lives out there. He opened an iTrustCapital account. And if you want to get $100 funding bonus, you can there's a promo code. You can click there, see the promo code. Go to itrustcapital.com/XRP Army. You're going to need that institutional custody, in my opinion. We've got, the market's kind of boring right now, 3.9 trillion, but it's not going to be boring for long. We're getting to something very interesting today. A few things. White House digital asset report will be released to the public this Wednesday. That's tomorrow. Let's remind you what that means.
The Trump administration is expected to release its first national crypto stockpile report on Wednesday stateside, detailing the structure and contents of the government's digital assets. This includes holdings under the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve and the U.S. Digital Asset Stockpile, which consists of cryptocurrencies seized through legal enforcement actions. Investors are eager to know how much Bitcoin the U.S. government actually owns. The report could also recommend national security and banking access reforms for crypto firms. We're back with Jordy Visser.
And then here's another reminder of what this report could talk about.
Other assets, I know we have Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Cardano that were considered and brought up, maybe a part of the stockpile, right? Are you guys considering other crypto assets? And with the ones that are in those five, what made you decide on those?
Well, first I'll just say the reason that we structured the SPR like we did is because Bitcoin is different. It's unique. It's a commodity, not a security. As David likes to say, it has the immaculate conception, meaning that there's no issuer. It has intrinsic stored value, and it's traditionally accepted stored value as well. And so, we wanted to make that distinction when we created Digital Assets National Stockpile along with the SPR. The reason that those five tokens were listed or mentioned is truly just based on market cap, the five largest market caps in this space. But for us, we still want to welcome and encourage innovation across many ecosystems in this space, and we understand that Bitcoin is the grandfather. We understand that it undergirds a lot of what's happening here. But that's not to say that we don't welcome these other players to continue to innovate, build on the chain, and create just new technology for Americans to interact with. I mean, we're extremely supportive of that. I think that's one reason why we wanted to mention the Digital Assets National Stockpile and create that as well.
Okay, now these guys, Phil and Dom Kwok from Easy A, this is what the doctor ordered for the XRP community, and I'll remind you, for years, many of us, including myself, Brad Combs would be another, and many others, we saw what nobody else, people in the XRP army could see it, but we saw what XRP was going to be a long time ago, and we were not afraid to tell you prices we thought this thing could go to if it was what we thought it was. We were confident. We never lost our confidence. Even when the market was down, we remained confident no matter what. And the XRP community had a split in it. You had a bunch of poisonous viper developer builder types who would try to attack us anytime we were optimistic, because they didn't know what they held. And many of them have personal problems and all kinds of mental issues. And they attacked us and attacked us and attacked us, and we didn't care because we knew what we held. Finally, we have some adult builders who realize it's okay to be optimistic on both the building and the price. This is what this community has needed for a long time, and here they are.
And I think it's the first time I'll say it, but I think XRP is heading to $1,000 by 2030. So for me, it's a super important project, and actually probably one of the most important projects out there at the moment.
Now, I wanted to play you a little bit of an extended clip, and I wanted to remind you, XRP was created to strengthen the US dollar and replace the petrodollar system. For years, we ignored the crypto police and all the negativity and told you anyway, it's not easy being early and having conviction. Good thing we didn't care what they said. And here's the more extended clip of what he said.
So for us, we're really bullish on Ripple, on XRP in particular, because of the inroads they've already made into the TradFi sector. They've been, really sort of diligent about getting tons of different licenses all across the world to actually make sure that they are positioned to own the space when the institutions actually come into blockchain, into crypto, which they're already starting to do with stablecoins. That's obviously a huge use case, and Ripple has their own RLUSD stablecoin, which is awesome, and we've already started educating our community on them. And ultimately for us, we're just super bullish on the mission, what they're doing already in terms of bringing all these big institutions. Hidden Road acquisition, for example, is a great example of how they're going to actually be utilizing the XRP ledger in the real world, settling trades, etc., much faster, cheaper than otherwise would be possible. And then obviously also international money payments. All of those different aspects really make it one of the formative companies of the next decade, in our opinion. And I know a lot of people have been asking for my price targets on XRP. And I think it's the first time I'll say it, but I think XRP is heading to $1,000 by 2030. So for me, it's, a super important project, and actually probably one of the most important projects out there at the moment.
The adults have entered the room, and for all the children out there who whined and complained about wild and crazy price predictions, this is a grow-up lesson. This is the lesson here is, if you have conviction, if you really have studied something and you believe in it, ignore the naysayers. A lot of times they just have issues beyond crypto or beyond whatever the topic is. And here Dom says Wall Street is about to run on crypto, a day for the history books. They took a video of themselves that's got music over it. I can't play it, but it says soon all this will be crypto. I've said it 1,000 times, crypto is the asset class to swallow all other asset classes. And I said these guys predicted $1,000 XRP by 2030. Looks like the XRP army price predictions aren't so wild and crazy anymore. Dom was at Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and went to Wharton. His brother was at University of Cambridge. He's an attorney, Master of Arts at University of Cambridge, BPP Law School, Stanford University. These are not dummies. These are people that are smart. They're connected. They're at Ripple's offices all the time. They're not coming out of nowhere with this. Zach Rector points out, here are the inflows needed for $100 and $1,000 XRP. $100 XRP, 11 to 58 billion of net inflows. $1,000 XRP, 118 to 589 billion. Oh, there's that number. Of net inflows. I'm using market cap multipliers of 100 and 500 in both examples, just keeping it conservative and using simple math. I went to Grok and said, okay, Grok, assume that we have $1,000 XRP in 2030. What would the predictions be for the end of year, all those years leading up? 2025, $20. 2026, 46.96. 2027, 110.26. 2028, 258.89, 2029, 607.87, and there's your $1,000 in 2030. This right here is a very important point made by Charles Hoskinson, and if it applies to ADA, It applies to XRP, and he's right.
Why don't you just convert all your ADA to Bitcoin? It's like, okay, so we can make less money as an ecosystem.
You think ADA will still outperform BTC in the future?
Of course, because how much farther can Bitcoin go? Maybe to 1 million. Okay, it's a 10x. ADA can go 100x, 1,000x over this. It's like, guys, we're not a second-class citizen. Cardano does substantially more, and because of Bitcoin DeFi, it's going to end up probably being the yield layer of Bitcoin. Why don't you?
They're not going to like that at all. And then here he is talking about the Giga Bull Run, Giga Chad.
I'm curious
Bull
if
Run.
you think the 4-year cycle is still intact.
No, it's a different cycle. It's something different going on, and I don't even think we're close to the peak of the bull market. When clarity gets passed, the Bag 7 are going to enter the cryptocurrency space. You're going to have stable coins go above 1 to 2 trillion in issuance. The total market cap aggregate is going to be over 10 trillion. And so I call this the Giga Chad bull run. And so it's no longer a 4-year cycle because it's not retail led anymore. It's more led by institutions, and it's more led by massive investors. And there's no way not to see a bull run, from.
All right. And then, I mean, this is some day here, folks. Look, Paul Barron did a whole video on JP Morgan versus Ripple choke point 3.0. This was, it wasn't, it was so many things. ETHgate, choke point 2.0, choke point 3.0. They're still trying, but I wanted to remind everybody's starting to figure it out now. JP Morgan banked Mt. Gox Bitcoin. JP Morgan was working on Ethereum before the mainnet launched. JP Morgan visited Ripple's office in 2017. SEC sues Ripple in 2020. ETHgate's uncovered. JP Morgan works with Ethereum, which is never touched. JP Morgan develops their digital asset strategy while Ripple is captured by regulators. Ripple experiences every kind of attack known to crypto, including a media blackout from 2017 until now. Still ongoing. But I did want to point this out. Ripple's valuation, including its XRP holdings, would surpass JP Morgan's $677 billion market capitalization of XRP if XRP price reaches approximately $15.88. This is roughly 5 times the current XRP price of $3.17 as of July 28, 2025. How about them apples? Okay, there's a lot more about XRP. We're going into the group. Go to daixrp.com for the Patreon, or you can click the join button below any of my YouTube videos, and you can now click the subscribe button on X if you'd like to join through there. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Where do you see this?